on 24 is located on Route 24 in Lewis.
Headlines you can't get through your day without. On Power 101.7.
All right, good morning to everybody jumping on our Facebook Live this morning. Make sure to check out the Bill and Jessica podcast right up on the free Power app in your app store, top left-hand drop-down. Listen to us anytime, 24 hours a day, 8 days a week. Jess, what you got?
All right, so Russia launched an attack on Ukraine early Thursday that the Ukrainian foreign minister called a full-scale invasion with explosions being heard in multiple cities, and troops crossed into the country from Russia. Now, the president there in Ukraine is declaring martial law, saying that Russia has targeted Ukraine's military infrastructure, urging people to stay home and not panic. The Russian military claimed to have incapacitated all of Ukraine's air defenses and air bases within hours, while there were also Ukrainian claims of having shot down several Russian aircraft. So we will keep you up to date on that. President Biden condemned what he called an unprovoked and unjustified attack in a written statement, and saying that the U.S. and its allies would hold Russia accountable.
All right, so, I mean, basically, if you don't understand what's going on here, you have Russia, you have President Putin, who is the president of Russia, and they have basically moved in on another country saying, no, this is our area. We're taking over this.
Yep.
That's like somebody coming. That's like, this would never happen, but that's like Canada. Let's just say, this is a dumb example, but Canada, who is on our board, or all right, that's like Mexico. Let's just say Mexico coming in and saying we're taking over Texas because it's right there. And I don't care what you say, we're bringing in troops and we're taking over, and it's ours now. And we're taking over New Mexico too, and it's ours now. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose.
Now,
so that's like a dictatorship.
Yeah, President Putin gave a televised address. Everyone said they knew he was going to do that, and he says that the attack was necessary to protect civilians in eastern Ukraine, which is an untrue claim. The U.S. had said that he was going to use that as a pretext and a reason why. So.
Well, there's, in the U.S., of course, we're against, Russia taking over. Of course, like I said, it's like a dictatorship. Like they're moving in and saying they're stealing, trying to steal land or whatever, and then President Biden's making moves, putting sanctions on Russia, etc. But there are really, really people out there who are supporting in this country, who are saying, "Yes, go Putin."
Yeah, I know,
including a former president who is saying,
"Oh,
yeah." And people who are still supporting him saying, yes, this is necessary. Go, go, go. Yes.
Wow.
So they're with Russia more than they are the U.S. This is unbelievable to me.
Yeah, and it's not good.
It's unbelievable to me.
It is not good.
So what the hell's wrong with people? Like, still following the cult, still believing everything that's said. Everything that a cult is when you believe someone and worship someone so much and nothing they say can be wrong. It's just crazy to me. So that's just a little, insight of what's going on here. But
yeah,
the only
things that will affect us.
Is the higher prices
the
and all
gas,
that.
The higher prices. It's not good.
So we'll definitely keep you up to date on that.
Okay. Also, the U.S. ports, they are going to be given about $450 million in federal money from the infrastructure law that was passed last year to help ease the supply chain crisis, which will in turn help reduce prices for Americans. Transportation, the secretary announced the availability yesterday of the first batch of competitive grants for the ports that will be double last year's amount annually for 5 years. The U.S. ports will have until May to apply for the grants, which will be awarded by sometime this fall.
Can I just go? I'm sorry. Can I just go back to that first story about the whole Russia-Ukraine?
Yeah.
There's people who want the U.S. to fail, who are in the U.S. because they want Russia to do this, and they want Russia to, they're praising Putin and saying this is a good thing because, and they want things to go up and stuff to inflate and all this. because they want it to look bad for Biden because they want to come back in and win.
Great.
That's what it is. They're not screw us. Forget about us. They want to win so bad and come back in and make it look bad for Biden. They want this whole thing to crash. So, because it's under Biden's watch.
Right. No, I get it.
That's why that's the reason why they're
yeah.
a cheerleader in the background for Putin. That's why. That's the real reason. Not because they really agree with Putin.
Right.
And are against the they want
so that it looks bad on this president.
Correct.
Right.
So it looks
No,
bad on this president.
I get it.
You know, forget about how it affects us. They're not worried about us. They don't care about us. All they care about is themselves and winning. But they want it to fail and things to go so bad. So it looks bad on Biden. And there's a, see, if I was in office, you know, that old gag. That old gag. So I'm just saying.
Wow.
So just wake up and realize that if you don't believe that. So I'm sorry. You can't continue.
No, you're
no, because
fine.
it's bullish. It really is.
I want you to let it out.
It really is. It's bull. We're the ones suffering here. We are.
I know.
And you love it. You know? So.
Wow.
But anyway.
Okay. The Delaware State Police here locally have identified the victim, and they did make an arrest in a weekend homicide in Seaford. At around 9 p.m. on Sunday, Seaford police responded to a reported shooting at 1252 Norman Eskridge Highway. On arrival, officers found the victim, identified as 31-year-old Nicholas Davis, in the parking lot suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead as a result of his injuries. Police were able to identify a 17-year-old Seaford male as a suspect in the incident. He has been taken into custody and charged with first-degree murder, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of a firearm by a prohibited juvenile. The teen is being held right now at the Department of Correction Juvenile Detention Center on $210,000 cash bond. The Maryland State Police are asking seniors to be very, very careful of what they are calling the grandparent scam. The scheme has taken over once again, and scammers are calling seniors claiming to be one of their grandchildren. The scammer is then saying they were either involved in a car accident or they're in legal trouble and they need bail money. The scammers can also call, like posing as a lawyer, and try to convince the victim that their grandchild needs a large sum of cash for bail. Sometimes the scammers will even show up at the victim's house to collect the cash. Police are asking you to please they're urging you to act immediately, no matter how dramatic the scammer story is. To avoid it, the police are saying that you should not give out any personal information to someone that you do not know. You're encouraged to keep your personal information and documents in a safe place. Collecting mail on a daily basis and putting on hold any travel is also recommended if you feel like you're going to be put in a situation of a scam. Police also say to please use all of your security features on your electronic devices and have complex passwords. Overall, police say that you should just trust your instincts, and if you think that you are being scammed, you probably are. All right, so they're warning right now that scammers are out. And then the Salisbury police are considering a red light camera and a program to help reduce crashes and help drivers be safer on the roads. Now, this is not something that, has been implemented yet, but Salisbury PD are considering red light traffic and that camera program.
You know what? I need to talk to my man, Mayor Jake Day, because he got enough speed cameras in Salisbury. We don't need more cameras.
We need to know, what this is, if it, eventually will be implemented. But this one's the red light camera.
Well, they got a red light camera. They got a speed camera. They're going to have a green light camera. They're going to have a corner camera. Man.
I know.
Just look, when you around Salisbury, you being watched, y'all. Just FYI.
Well, Mayor Jake Day, he does say that the next step is to gather more information about how the program would work and consider a competitive bid process. He also says additional research will be brought back to council over the next 4 to 8 weeks. And
Okay.
I'll bring it up again.
Well, let's have a talk with Mayor Jake when he checks in. And by the
know.
way, speaking of mayors, shout out to my man, Mayor Rick Meehan from Ocean City. He texted me yesterday and, just Got my first meeting set up for the big
Good
St.
deal.
Patty's Day parade. Going to be hosting.
Good.
I'm going to be on TV, hosting the TV part. So.
Okay.
He was, and the text was, "Sorry, you have a face for radio, so we're going to have to reconsider."
No, he did not.
It is the Bill and Jessica show. We are looking for the Student of the Week. We'll award another one tomorrow. Here's all the details.
We